It's dubbed as the El Clasico in the IPL, at least the fans and Rohit Sharma does seem to think so. But then it's not an El Clasico if Messi isn't playing, because MS Dhoni isn't playing the game today. It's Chennai versus Mumbai. That's the big news that is coming out of the Chepauk Stadium. The Chennai skipper MS Dhoni has missed out because he's got fever. There are plenty of other changes as well. Also the latest news, Chennai have won the toss and, no surprise there, have decided to field first. You're watching ESPNcricinfo Match Day. I'm Nikhil Naos, with me Ajit, Agarkar and Shaun. Tait. Again, I'm going to start with the toss. You'd expect, last time around Chennai did rather well chasing here on this ground. That was an obvious decision. Also, we heard Rohit say that they'll be due in the second inning.
Yeah, I don't think any team's batting first. I think there's very few occasions that has happened this year. Bowlers haven't been defending totals well. Obviously, it gets a little bit easier to bat second. So, toss. Basically, as soon as the coin comes down, whoever wins, we should know now what they're likely to do.
Okay, we'll have the playing 11s very shortly, but the big news, as I mentioned, MS Dhoni out. Does that change things? Anyway, you had picked Mumbai slightly ahead of Chennai. I remember looking at this preview, but now that MS is out, it's a big void.
Yeah, it is. I think we saw the last game he missed. He was certainly missed. No doubt about that. So, they've won the toss now. Dew will probably play a part in the second innings for sure. So, advantages on their side, but you're right. Missing him is a big blow.
Okay, we've got the playing 11s ready. As I said, Chennai, big changes there, but even Mumbai Indians have made a few changes. We'll take a look at that. We're getting to know Mukul Roy is in, Evan Lewis is in. The two guys that are out at the moment, you could see is... You've got Evan Lewis, correct. Evan Lewis and Ankul Roy are coming in.
Ben Cutting goes out.
Yeah, Ben Cutting is one of them.
And Markande goes out.
Markande goes out. I'm just going to talk about Markande. Hasn't been having a great IPL, so it was one change that they had to do.
Hasn't played much, I think. Has been injured, so missed a few games in the middle, I think. And Rahul Chahar's done exceptionally well for them. Yeah. So, Anukul Roy, quite keen to see what he does. Haven't seen a lot of him.
No one has.
So a bit of an unknown sometimes works, and Evan Lewis looks like he'll go to the top of the order. So Rohit Sharma may well drop down, or De Kock might bat number 3. Evan Lewis does prefer batting or opening the innings.
Yeah.
I don't think he's coming later than 3, so I can't imagine Surya Kumar Yadav going ahead of him. So maybe with the leg spinner and the left arm spinner in Chennai's team, they've had a left-hander with power. So whoever they add, Mumbai generally, Roy is one guy we'd be keen to see what he does, but otherwise it pretty much settled team.
All right. Markande started off as their premier spinner. Of course, Rahul Chahar I'm just looking at his figures from last time around. The last game that they played, Mumbai have lost to Rajasthan Royals. He was the most expensive of the lot. Bowled 2 overs but went for 12, no wickets for him. Paid the price, I guess.
Yeah, he bowled 2 overs as well, so I suppose they're thinking, and there's 2 guys that they've replaced. So Cutting's in that a bit of a, where do we put him? Where do we bat him in the order? Do we give him any overs? I think so. Sort of guys.
I think it's a good move, isn't it?
Guys at the moment a little bit bits and pieces. They're bowling 2 overs. He's not bowling that well. Cutting's sort of unknown where we should put him. So I think there's probably decent changes.
It didn't go well against spin either. Batting the one time that he's batted out a couple of times.
Probably not his conditions down there at Chennai. So.
And you can expect a lot of spin here at Chepauk. That's what we've seen in this IPL season. Okay, now the big changes for Chennai Super Kings. They've made 3 changes, 2 forced changes in MS Dhoni going out. He's got fever. We believe even Ravindra Jadeja has got fever. So he's the other one that is out. And then Fab Four has also been left out of the playing 11. So that foreigner, you've got Mitchell Santner coming in. That effectively, if you see like to like, it's for Ravindra Jadeja. They've got in a left-arm spinner for the opener. For Murli Vijay has come in for Faf du Plessis, and then MS Dhoni, as I said, that is the big one. So as things stand right now, I'm just going to, Ajit, talk about MS Dhoni, the captain. The other person you're going to miss, especially with spinners around, is MS Dhoni, the wicket keeper too.
Yeah, I think more the captain. I think he's obviously one of the biggest reasons why Chennai do well. They're a good team, lots of experience in that team. But would you pick them the top 2 teams in this competition on paper? Maybe not, but their performances don't tell you that. And that's because they've got a great leader. That usually holds the team together, making the right decisions, picking the right players and keeping things simple, making less mistakes than the other team does. And it's a challenge for Suresh Raina to carry on. It's very difficult, but the team's settled. They don't have. Santner's played before. He's come back in. Murli Vijay is an experienced campaigner, so it's not like they've got someone in. Shori is the only guy who's probably not played as much as he would have liked, but still a very good team in those conditions.
I'm just looking at Fab Four going out. Seems like it's not that they've run out of patience with him or not also because of his form. I guess that also is a forced change. Not that Fab is not well, but they had to fit in a left-arm spinner there or a spinner there with Jadeja going out, so he's had to pay the price.
Yeah, the whole foreign and local stuff, they had to mix and match, which is quite measured actually. So Faf's been alright. He hasn't been overly brilliant by any means, but he's been alright. And now I think that the fact that Watson may be back in form, you can sort of, you want either Faf or Watson to be making runs. Now that Watson's got 100, a 90, whatever he made. So, I think measured changes though. Yeah.
Maybe tells us a bit about conditions as well that Santner comes back. Of course, Ravindra Jadeja goes out, so they needed another spin option. Good toss to win as well in those circumstances that you don't have to bowl with a wet ball.
Yep.
So he'll probably get the best of the conditions. I'm sure there'll still be a little bit of dew around by the time the game starts, but at least it's a better chance than bowling second.
All right, Shane Watson back in form, as Shaun was mentioning as well. If you take a look at the numbers as well for Watson's impact on CSK's success, you'll really find out clearly that it's whenever Shane Watson is firing, Chennai Super Kings tend to do well. Usually happens when you got the opener getting you the runs, and you can see in wins his average and then in losses. And so in a way, it really depends on Shane Watson, the start that he gives for Chennai. Even more so today, Ajit, with a lot of inexperience there in the batting. Faf is out, Dhoni is out, then you need Watson even more so.
I don't think inexperience is probably the right word, but I think form. I don't think a lot of them have form. We don't quite know what Vijay is bringing, even though he has got the experience. I think Raidu, Raina, Kedar Jadhav, those guys haven't. They've had a couple of decent innings through the tournament, but they haven't been in great form. I think Dhoni's had to do bulk of the work. That's why Watson then becomes even more important. It's a big challenge. There's some good seamers in that Mumbai lineup who'll test him early on. But if he gets through that, we've seen in the previous game how dangerous he is. Bhuvi bowled him a maiden in that game in the first, in the Hyderabad game, the first over. And I think Khalil bowled a decent over second up. But once he got through that, they didn't get him out. I don't think there are too many bowlers who can stop him. So it becomes critical because of his, that innings that he's played, feeling good about himself, and with MS Dhoni missing.
The other thing that really works in his favour is a good player against spin. We've seen Shane Watson really go after the spinners. Also now Mumbai has an inexperienced spinner in Anukul Roy. So not really the spin attack that could trouble someone like that.
Yeah, and he's the sort of player that go after an inexperienced bowler as well. Try and bully his way there with a young and inexperienced spinner. And you're right. So he's a perfect fit for CSK. All said and done, if he bats in those conditions quite well, then he's a great foreign pickup for them. He's proved that last year as well.
His highest strike rate in that overs from 7 to 15. Every time he gets to those overs, you could take a look at that in IPL since 2018. So not just looking at this particular IPL with a minimum cutoff of 200 runs, averages rather well, and that strike rate at 197. But the problem this season has been, barring that last inning, that he doesn't stay on till that 7th over.
Yeah, but you look at the names on that list. Okay, Ishan Kishan might be a little bit of a odd man out or exception, but all others are power hitters, big hitters for the ball, who can actually muscle in those overs where the field actually spreads. And maybe a lot of the time there are slower bowlers in play. They can still hit the big shots because they've got the power. So does Watson. He's not been in great form, but Chennai have been winning, so they could afford to push and retain him in that team. And he's paid them back really well. It was an important win against Sunrisers. They'd lost 2 on a trot. You didn't want to lose another one. Potentially losing 3. Then MS Dhoni not playing today. Unnecessary puts you with the group that's chasing. So important innings.
This is the best team run rate in over 7 to 15. Unfortunately for Chennai, they're right at the bottom there. And even whatever little they must have got, that run rate in that middle may have been down to MS Dhoni up until now in this IPL. With him out, that's not going to get better for them unless you have a Raidu firing or a Raina firing.
Yeah, well, they've been lucky that they've batted well at the end. The last sort of 5 overs, they've batted pretty well, and they've bowled well. So those two, the fact they've bowled well as well sort of counters that out a little bit. And obviously the last game, Watson at the top and all that. So they've been pretty good in other areas, which has sort of allowed them to still be up the top of the table, around the top of the table, even with their middle overs being pretty ordinary.
Okay, we'll turn our attention to now what is it that the Mumbai batsmen have to do, because they'll be coming out to bat rather soon. And there's one thing that you can clearly notice is their top order, which has been struggling against spinners. This is now in IPL 2019, and you take a look at that of Mumbai having lost 21 wickets to spinners. So it's not a great average or sort of a performance that they've got from their batsmen. So spinners have done rather well against Mumbai, right at the bottom of the list. You could see even in terms of runs, I mean, you'd say decent at 7.4 is what they've got, but an average of 24.7 against the spin bowlers in this IPL. I mean, we didn't need to look at those stats, Ajit, to even find out how Surya Kumar, Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma haven't been great when you've got spinners to begin with.
Yeah, I think Rohit struggled a little bit. Oh, I don't know whether he struggled. He's just gotten out to spin this year more than maybe he has in the past. What, 5 dismissals?
In fact, all top 5, as the figures point out. Quinton's been dismissed twice by spinners, averages decently there. Surya Kumar Yadav as well has been dismissed thrice, and of course Rohit is right on top.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a case of them trying to go after the spin in certain situations. I remember Moeen Ali bowling Rohit with one that spun in sharply. I think he was caught behind against Chennai the last time to Ravindra Jadeja, if I don't, again spun sharply. So not too many bad shots as such. It's one of those things. Sometimes, you know, there's some spin introduced early on, and they'll. I mean, this is an even bigger challenge now in Chennai, because there will be a little bit more help for the spin. So they're all very good players. So you expect them to come good at some stage. At the moment they haven't, but Mumbai are still in the top 3. So it's not hurt them, fortunately.
You reckon you'll see a spinner there? And for Chennai, I'm just looking at, they've got all sorts of variety. Even though you've got a left-hand, right-hand combination for Mumbai to begin with, got a leg spinner, a left-arm spinner. They've got it all covered, Chennai.
Yeah, they certainly have. And the other thing is, it helps when you've got someone like Deepak at the top bowling well. So it allows the spinners to be a bit more freed up. You can bowl them at times that the captain thinks is the right, rather than being forced to bowl guys because the seamer's not bowling well. So it all mixes and mashes up together in a bowling lineup. If you've got seamers and spin doing the job, it obviously makes it very easy.
It'll be interesting to see how, in case Mumbai do dominate, I'm quite intrigued to see where Evan Lewis is going to bat. I know they've picked him. It may not be that easy to come in the middle. And it's a biggish ground as well. Even though there might be a leg spinner and a left armer in operation, it may not just be easy to come and whack the ball. So
since you talk about the batting, I don't know, do you reckon it'd be a good idea someone like a Pollard being sent up the order? He did rather well batting at number 4 in that game that he won, and especially with we've seen Mumbai not really get the move on once you lose the opener. Maybe get.
I think just seeing how their innings goes in the first 5-6 overs, then you can make that decision. But that's the thing they've got. Guys like him and Hardy can. Hitters at the end that can always move up the order a bit early to get things ticking over. But yeah, I mean, the big one for me though is if Rohit Sharma gets going and starts getting into this tournament properly, then again you don't have to make choices like that. You can if he's doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a game where they could take that gamble. Because I think they'll need a few runs to defend. Even though Rohit said there might be a little bit of due, you don't want to give Chennai a chance. Although with MS missing, it's a big blow to them, especially chasing.
Yeah, you don't want to just be getting 160, 170 and then going, we might, you need to get...
You need about 180 here. And Pollard plays spin really well, so might be a case tonight.
All right, we'll have to see how that pans out. But we're talking about the Mumbai top order, and one area of concern, as we've been talking, is Rohit Sharma versus the spinners. Is there a mistake that Rohit is making? We've got Deep Das Gupta to dissect that.
Let's talk about Rohit Sharma. He's been phenomenal in white ball cricket in the last few years. And one of the reasons I believe, and a lot of people say, is he's got that extra time. And that extra time comes from the fact that he really doesn't use his feet too much. He just plants it there and he's all handsy from there on. Give him that split second extra to get into position with his hands. Now off late in the IPL, he's got starts, but he has not capitalized because every time a spinner comes on, he's had a little bit of an issue. Now what does he do? If the length is pitched up somewhere here, it's not a problem because he can reach with his hands. If it's short, he can go on his back foot. But the issue happens when it's somewhere in between. and it's still doing the same thing. He's not moving his feet too much. He's there with his initial footwork, and then he's trying to reach the ball with his hands. Now, if my feet doesn't move and my bat is trying to reach, my hands are trying to reach, automatically I create this massive gap between bat and ball. Now, every time the ball moves around a bit, whether it's a leg spin or a googly or an off spinner, I get into a little awkward position and I don't have a second line of defense in terms of a body or my foot. So I'm all hands there, and if I miss it, I don't have a second line of defense. Now, that could be one of the reasons that he has, I won't say struggle, but has his issues against the spinners. But I'm very, very sure even Rohit would be looking into that matter and would be trying to sort it out before the World Cup.
All right, those are probably a few things that Rohit can look at and improve as the IPL goes across, as Deep Das Gupta was pointing that out. Okay, we'll turn our attention now. We've been talking about how is it that the Mumbai batsmen should be batting. We'll turn our attention now to the poll that we've got going on Facebook, and this is the question that we're asking. Rather simple: who will win today between Chennai and Mumbai? Cast a vote. We'll have the results a little later in the show. Okay, as I said, turning our attention to the CSK death bowling, which has been one of the best in the IPL so far. Yes, their middle order hasn't been fighting, not getting them too many runs, but it's their bowlers that have been doing the job, whether it is in the power play or then whether it is at the depth. This is the best economy in over 16 to 20, and Chennai is right there on top with 8.4. But I'm just tempted to, Shaun, just look at the fact that also that they've played at home, a ground where probably it would have been very tough for anyone to score. One, it's a big ground, and then it's not been a ground where you can really play your strokes.
Yeah, it has, and I mean at times they have also bowled really well, kept it simple. Yeah, Dhoni's captaincy helps that as well with his calmness at the death. We've seen a lot of other guys, a lot of other teams bottle it at the death, whereas Chennai have been pretty good. Deepak Chahar there on the screen, he's been brilliant. I mean, those figures there, those stats there are fantastic. So, yeah, I mean that's like we were saying before, that the fact that they've bowled really well cancels out some of the hiccups they've had in their batting.
There's an interesting case in point about Deepak Chahar. When he started the IPL, most were of the opinion that, oh, he's getting away with those overs in the end. You got to target him a little later. He was pushed into the deep end, so to say, and has done rather well to perform in that death overs too.
Yeah, I mean, I think MS Dhoni relied more on Shardul and Bravo to do the job, and they weren't having great time at the end, so he had to kind of bowl Chahar. I think one of the games he got taken for some runs at the start, so he couldn't bowl him as 4 straight away. So it worked out that way, but he does have the necessary skills to bowl at the end. Has a decent Yorker, keeps it simple, a bit like Bhuvi actually. Doesn't overthink the game, apart from those couple of full tosses that he bowled where he got a little bit of a telling off from Dhoni when there was about 25.
Never bowled
25,
after that.
Yeah, bowled great Yorkers after that. So I think what's also helping the cause that they get wickets early on. So there's a lot less pressure towards the end of the innings. And that's to do with conditions at home as well. The spinners do dominate. In the middle overs, they get a lot of wickets. You can see the numbers. I mean.
Yeah, Deepak Chahar is right there in the top 5 bowlers. Best economy in over 17 to 20 this IPL. Taken a cutoff of minimum 5 innings. What was interesting, Shaun, was the graphic that came before this, looking at the best performances in death bowlers. For Chennai, right on top was Ravindra Jadeja. He's missing out. We sometimes forget the contribution that he's been making in the death overs. Usually see him in the middle, but today they're missing him.
Yeah, I mean the whole team. Obviously doing pretty well. They're all pitched in at times. So yeah, but they're going to miss him today. So Santner needs to step up. He's a pretty good bowler, Santner. So I mean, yeah, a like for like change, I suppose.
But I mean, you look at those numbers. I mean, if you look at it again, the main 2 guys that he actually depended on was Bravo and Shardul Thakur, and they've been going at
for
10.
plenty.
Well, I mean, you at times 10s you might take it these days in 2020 cricket, but those are the guys he relied on, and because it's not worked, he's gone to Chahar. And Ravindra Jadeja, those 5 overs could, be in a situation where the ball's really spinning, or there are a couple of right-handers who are not massive hitters or not good players of spin.
Okay.
But I think tonight he'll have to rely, obviously set the game up early, Raina, but obviously rely a lot on Chahar to bowl a couple of overs for sure at the end, and Dwayne Bravo.
Okay, would it be a fair assessment to say, because we're talking about Bravo, he's gone for plenty as you showed as well. Initially, we've seen two versions of Bravo, one before the injury where he went for plenty of runs. The Bravo that has come after, only of course 2 games after that, we've seen an improvement in the Bravo and the death after.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, in the last game, I mean, that was probably the difference between Chennai having to chase, 175, was it? And 190, which might then have been a little bit more trickier. Not just Bravo, I think there were a couple other guys who came up with good overs at that stage. But Bravo is going to be critical now that he's back, and if he can find some form, especially at the end, that then strengthens their case even further as a team.
Okay, finally we're taking a look at the Mumbai bowling lineup as well, and we're talking about the 2 stars in Jasprit Bumrah and Lasith Malinga. The question is, can they thrive at Chepauk? In fact, that's a no-brainer. They thrive on most grounds that they've played, and this is pace versus spin at Chepauk. We can see a difference there. The fast bowlers have gone for more runs than spinners this time. Also, spinners have put marginally a little bit more wickets as compared to spinner. But the question is, last time around when these 2 teams played, Shaun, I remember you had Bumrah, Malinga the star. In fact, the fast bowlers did rather well for them.
Yeah.
But this time, different conditions. You're playing in Chepauk, not the ground in Mumbai.
Yeah, absolutely. It is different conditions, but I still look at those 2 guys and they should still be able to step up and bowl well in these conditions as well. Good fast bowlers should be able to bowl well anywhere. Okay, yes, you've got your grounds, it's going to be better for you, but I still think these guys are going to be hard to negotiate. So I'm really looking forward to this actually. Malinga versus Watson. That's been a challenge. That's been a competition between those 2 that's been going for years now, and now Bumrah as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most in this game, to see how those 2 guys go.
The one thing that we've seen, I know Chepauk, we've been just generalizing that it's not been assisting the fast bowlers, it's been helpful for spinners. Just the last game, if I was to take that as a reference point, was a much better pitch to bat on. So maybe the fast bowlers then come into play.
Yeah, I mean, if it's I've played a lot in Chennai. I know it's been a few years since I played, but when they make a good pitch, it's a really good one to bat on. It might slow down as the game progresses, but usually you get enough bounce there to play good shots on. So hopefully it's a good one. Then it becomes, a fair contest, as in the batters then thrive a bit more.
Spinners might struggle to hang on to it as well. So,
with a wet ball, true. It's but Bumrah and Malinga more than ever would be important tonight if they can get Watson out. If you look at the batting at the moment of Chennai, and you might have names on paper, they aren't in great form. Whether it's Raina, Raidu, or Kedar, and then you don't have MS Dhoni at number 5 or 6. So and Santner at 7. So that's bravo, but that's a thinnish batting.
Yeah, the only other good thing is Jasprit Bumrah this season has done rather well playing away from home rather than at home, but also because Mumbai is a ground where plenty of runs are scored. All other grounds that we've seen this time around, maybe Chepauk, even Jaipur for that matter, not too many.
Bowled an incredible over on one of the tougher grounds in Bangalore. When they needed in that chase, which finished on the last ball. The Malinga bowled that last over, the 19th over. So there's no doubt. I mean, Bumrah is going to produce more often than not.
Yeah, the other thing that Mumbai are missing at the moment is Behrendorff. He had a last game. Just looking at a few figures from the last time around, he did rather well when they beat Chennai. I'm just going to go eventually to the matchup between these 2 teams. Statistically, it's been Mumbai that's done rather well against Chennai, not just overall, but even at Chepauk, and that's where we've got that Chennai's win record versus opponents, and it's the worst that they've got. The only team where it's less than 50%, which is to say that it favors the other team. And today, Shaun, it doesn't seem like it's going to improve, especially with the big guns out.
Yeah, I just think, obviously Mumbai, the way they've set up their team over the years and even now, it sort of suits this ground a little bit. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a side that they're going to have a bit of a bogey against is Mumbai. They've been a great side over time, and they've got experienced players. Mumbai, even in the batting, you've got Rohit and these guys that aren't afraid to show up at Chennai and try and dominate the game.
All right, it's an exciting encounter that we're building up to. As I said right at the start of our program, El Clasico of sorts of the IPL. Okay, turn our attention to the Fab Four, where we get our experts to pick the 4 players to watch out for in this particular encounter. We'll have the playing 11 on the screen. Shaun, you're going to go first this time.
Let's see if we can get over 100 tonight, Ajit.
If
we can get over 100 tonight.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, let's have a look here. So I'm going to go with Watto again.
Come on.
And Imran Tahir.
Let's have the Mumbai team. Yeah.
Do you want? I'll give you Robert then. I'll go with Krunal. and Hardik.
Pandya brothers. Talking about brothers, there's going to be Chahar versus Chahar as well. Two brothers on the opposite end and two brothers in the same team. Go ahead.
So let me go Rohit Sharma today.
Okay.
And Bumrah. Do I need another Mumbai Indians player? No, let me have you picked Imran Tait?
Yes.
Yes, he has. Harbhajan.
So let me go Santner. Which is Santner and Suresh Raina.
Raina. Yes, Raina showing some glimpses of the old form. Last time around, he did be interesting contest to watch out for. Talking about the contest, let's see what is it that the viewers have polled in, which is the team that they're expecting to win, and it's a no contest there, 80%.
Amazing what one person not turning up does.
Yeah, I was just going to say, had there MS Dhoni been playing, I don't think it'd be as lopsided as it was. I don't think too many people looked at those stats that we were showing that Mumbai does rather well versus Chennai. Okay, a contest to watch out for. Last time around in the Fab Four, it was just a gap of 5 points between Shaun, Tait and Ajit. Agarkar will be another close one. We'll have to wait and watch. You're watching ESPN Cricket for Matchday.